everybody. How are you? Happy whatever day it is. For me, it's Monday right here. So I have a great sculpt workout for you. We're going to work our arms, lower body, and our core. But before we get started, I have a couple tips with weights. So I have my really light weights, 2-pound weights, and then I have some 5-pound weights. Well, I'm going to show you first of all as we go throughout our workout where you can use heavier weights if you have heavier weights. If you don't, that's fine. And if you want to make your light weights heavier, I'm going to show you an option. So I have my trusty can of beans here. I have 2 of them. So if you add your cans of whatever you might have in your pantry, you'll probably add about 1 pound each. So now I have 3-pound weights instead of 2. And you can do the same with the heavier weights also. So it gets a little tricky to hold on to, so you just kind of have to work it with your hands there. So that's what my tip is for today. So we're going to get started by warming up with some jumping jacks. Getting our body nice and warmed up here. So if you prefer to not have the jump, you can step it out. Either way works for you. Be sure to get your arms up and over your head. Last 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. So just some shoulder shrugs here. We've gotten our heart rate up. We're going to warm up our body, certain parts of it. We'll be doing some good shoulder work, so you want to get those shoulders warmed up. All right, now kind of do circles with your shoulders. Going back and going forward. Awesome. All right, let's move those arms in circles forward. And then backwards. So we've gotten our upper body good and warmed up. So let's get into some hip openers. So, whoa, lost my balance. So taking your knee up as high as it'll go and going around like that just helps to open our hips up. Get into those hip flexors a little bit. 3, 2, and 1. Nice, easy squats here. Down with the hip first. Hinge at the hip before bending at the knees. So we'll be starting off with upper body with weights. So you can get your lighter set of weights. 3, 2, and 1. So we're starting in a chair position, hips down, feet hip distance apart, weight in the heels. Arms are in front with your palms in. You're going out and up and back down. A little bit of a combo move here, getting into our shoulders, but we're still working our arms. And we're hanging tight in that chair position. Legs are still active, they're working. So when we work with weights, we're sculpting the body and we're working to the point of overload. So if you're not feeling a burn in the weights that you're using, that means you can go to a heavier set. Always have the option to do one at a time. So this is a slow and controlled movement. It's not about how fast you can go. It's about being controlled with your weights. And if you feel like your form is not all together, then ditch the weights or get a lighter set. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Send the right leg back. We're in a crescent position. Feet are railroaded, hips stacked, or shoulders stacked over the hips, knee over the ankle. Can be hinged forward. We're doing rows into kickbacks. Inhale up, exhale back. And as you go back, you want to squeeze the shoulder blades together. So this is one of those exercises where, keep going, if you want to use heavier weights, you can try some. And if it ends up that it's too much with the heavier weights, just switch back to the lighter set. And you always have the option to do one at a time. So keeping those elbows in and squeezing those shoulder blades as you go back. It really just depends on how often you've worked with weights in the past and where you are in your current fitness with weights. So I'm definitely feeling this with the heavier weights. So wish I could see you. I'm sure you look amazing. Last 3, 2, and 1. All right, I'm going back to my lighter set. We are going to get into a warrior 2 position. So again, everything is stacked, shoulders over hips, knee over ankle. And in this warrior 2, you want to think about turning that front thigh towards the outside over here. And then the back edge of your foot should be parallel with the back edge of your mat or carpet or wherever it is. And core is pulled in tight. Always remember to pull your core in tight. So arms are at the side, raising up to the front and back down. Up, over, and back down. Nice job. So you're welcome, if you have 2 sets of weights, you're welcome to try a few with the heavier set. Or if you have your soup cans or bean cans, you can add to those. Always have the option to do one at a time. Or you can just ditch the weights all together. What I love about combining yoga positions with weights is that you're not just standing there. Your legs are working. And yoga positions tend to force you to engage your core. How are those shoulders feeling? Are you feeling them? Last 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. So we're getting into bicep curls next. We're going to be standing, feet a little bit wider than hip distance in a star position. And you can use heavier weights with your bicep curls. So biceps can generally take a little bit more weight. So if you want to switch out or add cans to your weights, you can add cans too. Now my knees are slightly bent. I would encourage that. You don't want your knees to lock out. So if you want to make this a little bit harder, you can take your arms away from your chest. Maybe you don't have heavier weights. Just take your arms out or keep them back in, whatever works for you. Full range of motion here. And we'll be changing it up in 3, 2, and 1. This time, halfway down and back up. Getting into the bicep muscle a little differently here. Halfway down and back up. And if you feel like adding a little hip action, you know, to the music, you can add a little hip action. 3, 2, and 1. Hold them out and pulse. Just pulse them a little. Ooh, yeah. Let them go to the end of your fingertips. Try not to lean back or lean forward, but keep that back nice and straight. I know you feel it. Not here for long, though. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Place the heavy weights down. Pick up your lighter set. Back into a chair position. Lighten the toes. So, we're doing alligator flies. Arms are working in opposition here. So whatever your range of motion is, go to your range of motion. If your range of motion is not as high, that's okay. Everybody has a little bit different range of motion in their shoulders. And if it's too much for you to do both at the same time, you can do 1 forward, 1 back. 1 back, 1 forward. You just have to keep track of which one you go where. So your heart rate might be getting up a little bit. That's all right. It'll do that whenever we use weights over our head, and we're moving our arms at a fast enough pace to where that'll get your heart rate up also. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So into a crescent position, this time sending the left leg back. Again, keeping everything stacked. You can be hinged forward. So we're doing flies here. This is a lot of shoulder work, I know. So normally I tell you to go up at the same pace you come down. That's because I don't want you throwing your arms back or flinging them down. So this, we're going up and then we're going down really slow. Up. And then really slow. See, my weights are really light, so it's really hard for me to feel it. But if I pretend like I'm trying to squeeze something together, that gets into the muscle just a little bit more. Core is pulled in, you have a nice straight back. Awesome work. always have the option to do one at a time. Last 3, 2, and 1. So, oh, here's the killer, pulsing it out at the top. Oh, yeah. This is where we really get into that upper back area. Little tiny pulses. You can do this, I know it. It's hard. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. So we're going into warrior 2 on the other side. Create space between your legs, keeping everything stacked. So if you want to grab your heavier weights, you can. I'm going to keep with my lighter set. Or you can grab one of your heavier weights, or another option, which I think I might do this, is one heavy and one light. We're getting into overhead triceps here. So if you have a couple of different sets of weights or even cans, you can play around with your weights. Whatever weight you start with, you don't have to stay with. You can do whatever works for whatever exercise. We are getting over our heads, so you might start to feel the heavier weight. So currently I have a total of 7 pounds here. My 5 is my heavy and my 2 is my light. Three, 2, and 1. So we're going around, doing some halos here. Now if this gets to be too much, you can always drop one of your weights or use both your lighter set. All right, go the other direction. So what I love about this, we're not only getting a good workout for our triceps, but we're also getting a little bit into our waistline. So after this will conclude most of our arm work. We'll be getting into some leg and core work. We'll start off standing, go back the other way, and then we'll be on the floor to finish out. So you might find in doing this, one way feels a little more awkward than the other. That's because we have side dominance going for us. So, and reverse. Last time through here. Three, 2, and 1. Awesome. You can place your weights down. So we are getting right into some squats. Now, I will tell you, you can do this just with your body weight. If you would like to add weights, you can either hold them at heart center or place them on your shoulder. Whatever works for you. But we're going down, pulse, and up. 2, and back up. Sometimes holding weights, even just one weight, keeps our body from bending over. It keeps our shoulders, but it's whatever works for you. Obviously, if you add a little bit of heavier weights on your shoulders, you'll start to feel it. A little quick, that is. So down, pulse 2, come back up. So as you do your squats, I'm going to place the weights down. Continue You want to be hinged from the hip. I'm going to come to the side. Let your hips lead the way. Nice work. I know. Are you feeling it? Those quads are burning. Last 3, 2, and 1. And I'm going to encourage you to grab a weight. So we're getting into our core, holding the weight out in front. Engage that core. If I were to be there and I were to punch you, your natural reaction would be to brace the core. So not suck it in, just brace it. Slight bend in the knees, hip distance apart, weight is out, going to one side, to the center, back to the other side. So again, this is a nice, easy, controlled movement. So you may find your weight is too light. If that's the case, you can use 2 weights. Whatever weight works for you, you can use it. I know you're probably still breathing heavy after doing those squats. We're getting into our obliques here. And I know you're thinking, wait, you said we were done with our arm work and you're feeling it in your arms. I know, I'm sorry. So you can even do this without a weight. Totally up to you. 3, 2, and 1. Place the weight down. So the next thing that we're doing, we're in a lunge position. So I'm going to show you this. We're doing several things here. So we're lowering, kicking that back leg up, bringing it up to a kick, back to that lunge. Balance work, I know. So down, up, and kick, and back down. Lower, kick, and up. Little trick in doing balance work, whoa, see, is to keep your gaze fixed on something still in the room. So to really, see, it's hard for me to concentrate and talk at the same time with this one. Where you're going to feel it is when you sink lower. But if that's too much, you don't have to. And you can always kick, step your foot back, and kick frontwards. Find what works for you. And you're getting your heart rate up. 3, 2, whoa, and last one. Nice job. You probably feel it in your standing leg. You can shake it out, because guess what? We have another side to do. All right, in your lunge position, gaze fixed on something still in the room. Lower, back, kick front. Down, kick front. And you may find one side is weaker than the other as far as balance goes. Whoa. See, it's hard for me to do this and talk. Not only are we getting into our legs with this, Also working our core. It's okay if it doesn't look pretty. 3, 2, and last one. Nice job. Shake those legs out. So, grab a weight. We're gonna work a couple different things. Weight is just over your head. You're in a horse position here. Hips down, straight back, feet at 10 and 2. And you're going to the side, center, and back. Another, getting into that waistline. Now you can make this harder or easier. You can ditch the weight and just do this. You can add more weight if this isn't enough. And yeah, you can sink those hips down a little bit further. Sure, go another inch. You can do this. So on this, you want to be careful that you don't start hunching over. You keep going side to side. Go as far as you can go. Don't feel like you've got to go all the way. You're getting into your waistline. That's what's important here. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Place the weight down. So, shake those legs out. Yeah, we're working them. So, again with our squats. Pulse down for 2, one leg up. Pulse down, other leg up. Got it? Let's do it. Pulse down, leg up. 2, leg up. Keep going. I know you can do this. Be mindful that you're keeping your form. Hips down first, hinging at the waist. Doesn't matter how high your leg gets. Three, 2, 1 more, and we're done. Nice job. Grab your weights. I'm going to go heavier set. I know you're thinking, you told us we were done. Well, this is still waist. So feet are hip distance, a little bit further apart. Bending the knees, going side to side. Getting into our waistline. So, options here. If you want to just do one weight and put the other weight down, you can. You can do no weights. I always like to tell people, have your gaze follow your weights or your hand, so you get into that waistline. One side right now. Three, 2, and 1. Awesome. Go right into the other side. And you're breathing the entire time. Heart rate is getting up. I know. Last 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Place those weights down. If you need to grab a drink, grab a drink. You're working hard, I know it. So, we're back into that horse position. Hips down, hands are at heart center. So, 2 heel lifts, and then opposite arm to opposite ankle. If you can go to the outside, go to the outside. So, 2 heel lifts. This feels a little bit like a robot doing this. But it helps to come up before crossing back over. Just gets into that waistline a little bit more. Now, if you wanted to make this harder, which at this point in the workout would really make it hard, you can grab a set of weights or your cans of soup or beans. Heel lifts get into our calves a little bit. So, not only are we working our outer thighs, we're getting into, and inner thighs, we're getting into our calves a little bit. Last 3. One more. Awesome job. Woohoo! All right, so grab your weights. If you can go heavier, go heavier. So we're doing some deadlifts. We're starting off with both feet on the ground, going down and coming back up to the shoulders. If you can't come back up to the shoulders, then just come back up where your arms are straight. So hinge at the hip and come up. So you want your hands to kind of skim your body a little bit off center. So this gets into our hamstrings, which we don't work our hamstrings except if you run sometimes. It's easy to overdo our hamstrings. This just helps build strength. Now, earlier I said 2 feet on the ground. Yep, we're doing one-legged deadlifts next. Last one here. Awesome. So, bend in your standing leg. I'm starting on my right leg. My left knee is back. When you do this, you don't want to have your hip height. That'll cause hip issues. But try to keep your hips even and square. So you're going down and coming back up. If you want to come all the way up, you can. Your back leg acts like a lever. And yes, you want to fix your gaze on something still in the room to help keep that balance. Now, if you are feeling tightness in your hamstrings while doing this, switch to a lighter set of weights, or one weight, or no weights. And if you need to touch your toe down in between, you can. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So get that other leg up. I always encourage you to get your balance first before starting. And like I said, one leg will be easier for balance than the other. Usually for me, this takes a couple just to get the motion of it. Oops. This is obviously my weak side. Balance-wise. It's okay if you have to tap your toe down. Awesome. You can be wobbly. That means your core is working, which is always a good thing. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Woohoo! All right, come on down to the floor. If you have a mat, you can be on your mat. So line all the way down, feet on the ground, lifting your head and shoulders up. Remember to keep space between your chin and your chest. You don't want to be like this and cause injury. At the same time, roll your shoulders back. You want to nice and relaxed, going side to side. Little Pilates move here, side to side, but so effective. Getting into those obliques. I know, you're thinking, we've done a lot of oblique work. I know. Your obliques are your stabilizers. But don't worry, we'll be doing some other core work too. 3, 2, and 1. Head and shoulders down. So arms above, and you're coming up and meeting in the middle with it. Coming up like that. So you can keep your feet down. You can bring them up and down, or you can just keep them up. Find the option that works for you. Or if you want to just do a combination, you can do a combination of moves. Now, if you want to add a little more something to this, you can add a weight. Feet can be on the ground, or they can be up. But don't feel like you need to add a weight if you don't want to. Or you can do a few without. Awesome. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Lay all the way back down. Send your legs up the wall. And if you want to take a weight, you're just coming a little bit off the ground with your shoulders while you do this. Or you can use no weight. But keep the legs up in the air They don't have to be straight, they can be bent. Try a few with the weight. And remember to breathe. Three, two, and one. Awesome job. Place the weight down. Come on over to all fours. So, you're on all fours, shoulders stacked over wrists, hips over knees. Toes are tucked under. So what we're doing, you're going to lift your knees up. Pull the core in. You should already feel your core activated just by lifting your knees up a couple inches. And we're doing some bear walks here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back. Just back and forth. Now this is really tricky to do because your knees want to come up. So if it's easier, you can just bring your knees up, just back and forth like that. Find what works for you, getting into that core. And I think I have trouble coordinating this, but you got the idea. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So we're going to get into our legs for the last little bit. Before we do though, 10 push-ups, any way you want. So you can do some straight legs, or you can do them from your knees. I'd encourage you to be just right above your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome. I'm going to come over and turn around so you can see me here. So we're back on our all fours again, everything stacked. Taking that right leg out, lifting it up and back down. Keeping the hips as still as you can keep them. Lifting them up. Up and down. We'll be taking that leg out to the side in 3, 2, and 1. Out to the side, lifting up and down. So you don't have to go super high with your leg to feel this, getting into that outer thigh. I know you're feeling it. We've done a lot of leg work, but we're getting close to the finish line. 3, 2, and 1. And bring that knee back in. So lift it up, bend the knee in, and roll it out. Like someone is taking a rolling pin down your leg. Hips should be square to the ground. Oh, you got this. Three, 2, and 1. Keep that knee up. Point your toe going up. Flex your foot coming down. Point up, flex down. Just by changing the direction of your foot, we get into your booty a little bit more. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, one more on this side. Straighten that leg and little pulses up. Not here for long. 10 seconds, you can do this, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Come on over. We're going to do the other side. I'm going to turn so you can see me. Take that leg, straighten it, lift and lower. I don't know about you, but I have worked up a nice sweat. But that's a good thing, right? Three, 2, and 1. Out to the side. Almost to the end, and that's cause for celebration. Three, 2, and 1. All right, knee up and roll it out. Rolling pin down your leg. Maybe you've been baking a lot of bread because that's kind of the craze right now in this quarantine is baking bread. So pretend you're rolling your leg out. Getting it nice and flat, right? At least where you want it flat. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So, bend that knee, up with a point, down with a flex. We are almost done here. Three, 2, and 1. Up, pulse it up. I know, you feel it, it kills. You're doing what's good for your body. Last 10 seconds here, and then we'll cool down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Woohoo! High five. Whew. It's okay, you've worked up a sweat, that's fine. So, for a cool down stretch, back to all fours, bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Extend your back leg back down, getting a nice stretch in our hip flexor here and our hamstring and into our glute. If you want to take this stretch a little deeper, you can go on down to the ground. This is good for me. I'm not super flexible. So, and you should be feeling it in your left leg too. Getting a nice stretch there. So if you'd like to add a little bit more and get a stretch for the quad, bring that back leg up. You can grab your toes or grab your shin. You'll get a nice stretch in the quad. All right, and release. Take that leg back. Bring the other leg to the outside. You may need to send your back leg back. Getting a nice stretch here. And again, if you went down on the other side, you can go down on this side. And if you want to get a little bit deeper stretch for the quad, bring that back leg up, grab hold of it wherever you can. And release. Come on down to your knees. We're going to stretch out our arms and shoulders. Make a hook with your left arm, sending the right across. Get a nice stretch for our arms and your shoulders here. We worked them hard today. Grab your elbow and pull it back. And take the left arm across, make a hook with the right. Just go to the point of where you feel the stretch. You don't need to overstretch. The muscles are nice and warm. Grab here, grab your elbow behind your back. All right, let's take a big breath in. Reach up to the sky, nice stretch in the spine. Go back a little to the side, back to center, to the other side. Reach up, and whoo, yay, you made it. Nice work today. Thanks for coming. As the song says, bye, bye, bye. Anyway, if you are enjoying these workouts, you can check back. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll be notified whenever I post a new workout. So anyway, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining.